Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We haven't seen you all day, so we just figured maybe a quick happy birthday might be nice. So you can have your cake.
And it's
We'll stick it on the back thing. Thought maybe.
well, thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you, John. We're all welcome to have it.
Yeah.
We'll stay at either.
My grandmother from work. That was with Janet Kingston, Baratta.
Thank you, Kelly. See you later, Jordan.
Yeah, long as it takes. No.
Nope, nobody's on.
Folks ready? Okay, let's start the meeting. We'll, please join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion for the approval of the June 8th minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Pat, could we please have a report of the executive session?
Sir, the board met briefly before the meeting this evening to discuss pending litigation matters. No decision was made, no deliberation.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on any items that are not on the agenda? Anyone other than Richard? Happy birthday. All right. Announcements and upcoming events. So this Sunday at the Community and Culture Center, the Pink Lights Breast Cancer Organization is having a paint sit. So if anybody's interested, grab a flyer over on the side. We're happy that the Revitalization 4-9 committee got a chance to meet the Economic Development Committee on Monday night. So we look forward to some great things there. My work program, the township is now involved with the Department of Labor and Industry's Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. So we will be having individuals from my work program, which is a summer employment program, with the goal of providing high school students with disabilities the opportunities to work for local municipalities or nonprofit agencies. So that's going to provide a learning opportunity all the way around, both for them, as far as what it's like to have a real job or a position someplace, as well as for the staff. I'm sure that we'll gain as much out of it as they will. So we look forward to that. And last but not least, there is a dedication ceremony for the state marker that we received from the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. That ceremony will be on Monday, this coming Monday, June 26th at noon, in honor of the Marshall's Creek explosion. That's all I have, unless you folks have anything.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, is there any correspondence?
There is a correspondence. I received an email today, and it is from Joel Smith, brokerrealty.com, expressing his gratitude for our employee, Vicki Smith. She was outstanding with his client when they came in regarding concerns about how to obtain an occupancy permit. She was understanding and patient, and they we're very happy with her and said we are very fortunate in having Vicky as part of our team.
That's terrific. Thank you. Michael, that brings us to you for the treasurer's report.
I don't have any report per se. I make a motion from our general fund, $179,531.13.
Comments or questions?
I would note within that is an interim donation to the Bushco Emergency Court, $25,000 from the Smithfield Township.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye. Motion from our sewer account, $32,134.48.
I'll second. Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye. Motion from our golf account, $12,609.69.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye. And a motion from our liquid fuels account, $2,963.84.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Solicitors Report, engineering consultant for PennDOT about Lower Lakeview Drive.
Thank you. I believe the township received the correspondence from WBCM, which apparently is a engineering firm that's assisting PennDOT with an upcoming project. What it included was an MOU, memorandum of understanding, to be entered into between the Department of Transportation and the township with respect to the proposed detour. This would be a detour to avoid the use of the portion of Lower Lakeview Drive that they're proposing to work on. And that detour would be from Sellersville Drive, from Lower Lakeview Drive to Milford Road, and also from Municipal Drive from Milford Road to Lower Lakeview Drive. What I have done is, the MOU from PennDOT was pretty empty. There wasn't a lot to it. So I added some clarification and added some suggested or requested revisions and conditions. You can probably see the track change version. What I was trying to accomplish, just to make sure that PennDOT, repairs anything they damage, make sure that there's no mud or dirt left on the roads, that sort of thing. Clarified the locations a little bit, suggested including an attached exhibit. I don't think there's any rush for you to act on this if you don't want to tonight. If you want to think about it, I think the project plan, I think Shelley said 2024. But it's up to the board what you'd like to do. I do anticipate we can send this when you are ready to act and end up with the track changes and see what they say. I do anticipate, I'd be surprised if they accept all of it. But you don't know unless you ask them.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend that we proceed with you, send this off to them and see what comes back, and we can approve or disapprove the final version. Make sense?
How long has it been? So in their draft, they indicated it's estimated to take 4 weeks. In my proposed changes, I suggested adding shall not be more than 4 weeks total. In the event the report is needed for a longer period of time, the Department of Transportation shall be required to request for additional consent to the township.
They'll never agree. Takes 4 weeks to think about a project, and then we'll get it done.
Well, they put the 4 weeks in, so.
Right.
I wonder if they told the surrounding property owners.
Probably not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, it's not gonna happen until next year.
So they are detouring on township roads here.
Right, but they're landlocked.
Yeah.
That's the only way they can do it. They're landlocked.
Do you want to, we could include before we send this to them. Says the Department of Transportation will provide the following services for the establishment of the detour. As one bullet point, place and maintain the appropriate signage. You want to include another one that will notify the residents within a certain distance of the.
Yeah.
Right, it's up, you ask, I don't know if that's a concern.
Sure. That's one more way they can't get to the golf course.
Well, it's next year. I mean, you can try it, I mean, or just put that in your transmittal to them. You know, how do you intend to notify affected property owners? I mean, and what if they don't? You know, we had no. Yeah, I mean, good, but I mean, and we wouldn't know that until it's too late.
Okay.
So I would like to say, just see what comes back.
Thank you for preparing that. Pat.
And the next item under my agenda report is the fireworks ordinance. Oh, wait. You're just authorizing me to forward with that,
Correct.
at this point. With my changes. The next item on our report is the fireworks ordinance. As you recall, I believe the board asked, that I review the existing fireworks provisions in the code ordinances and then provide an amendment to the recent statute amendment in the state of Pennsylvania. So I reviewed what you have, and what you currently have is probably something that was adopted 2012, 2013 timeframe, which was before the amendments to the statute. So you currently just have basically for display fireworks, which is those fireworks that require a permit. With all the revisions and amendments to the statutes over the course of the last few years, there are now these consumer fireworks that everyone is purchasing. So the draft amendment to the fireworks chapter of the ordinance in front of you has not only the display fireworks, which are those larger fireworks that are used in professional type displays that require your normal permit. It also includes the consumer fireworks, which are now available to the public, and what you're seeing more and more of being set off in a number of different scenarios. So the provisions in section 107-3, the use of consumer fireworks, those are specific to those consumer fireworks that you're seeing, private residents setting off in their yards, front yard streets. And those, the majority of those come straight from the state statute. I don't know if you want to go. Do you want to go through this in detail? Do you want to hit the big?
I already went through, I mean, I'm sure the rest of the board did too, went through it and looked at what your red line was on it. Pretty explanatory.
Yeah, so there is a blank. If you look at the second last and last page, the one provision, anyone obtaining a permit, this is for display fireworks. Anyone obtaining a permit for display fireworks must notify the blank fire company, and I believe you want Marshall Street.
Yeah. The under number 7.
Well, or Bushville.
Should we put, do you want to put both, have them both notified?
Yeah.
Marshall's Creek and Bushville?
You might as well say Shawnee too. All three.
Well, I'll include all those. Well, there is a reasonable fee that's included if you read on their intention. So the first is notifying them of the intention to have the display. And then also to pay a reasonable fee to the flag fire company to have representative or fire apparatus on site at all times during the display.
I would say to the primary fire company
In the coverage area.
in the coverage area.
And then the other way, that's with respect to violation of public safety, there's a provision here that allows for mentally state police, fire chief, enforcement officer, other authorized tax designation, basically stop it if it's in public safety. So I think we add all three again, Shawnee, Marshall's Creek, and Bushville.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? And there are, you'll see the hours and the use of the consumer fireworks, those hours come directly from the state statute. I think it's arbitrarily pulled up, so don't get that.
That's,
So, pending those, when did you want to have the public hearing for this? Don't we have one on,
we have one.
You have one coming up on July.
July 13th? So is there time to have this?
On the same night?
You might want to have it on in the night.
Do it same night.
Why not?
What if one of them runs long, could be here till,
We'll put this one first.
we don't know. I don't think it's necessarily do two of them.
So your next meeting after 13th would be the 20th.
During the mid-year.
I'm sorry.
And then push it off till August. I mean, it's not, again, feel like what, we come and go, so.
It's just that I expect this fireworks ordinance public hearing to take all of 5 minutes.
I understand, but if it doesn't, then we're. So August 10th,
I,
it's not urgent.
So August 7th. So what I'll do is I'll put that together. I'll make these changes, and to be honest, I'll circulate the revised version of these changes. And if you have an opportunity to look through it, and if maybe you stumble across something that you don't like between now and your next meeting or the second meeting in July, if it gives us enough time to change it before you have the August 10th meeting, that'll be better. All right?
Yep.
okay,
I believe that's all from my report, unless there's anything else from the board this time. I probably have a comment or two on maybe one of the additional agenda items.
okay. There's no engineer, so there is no engineer's report for tonight. Old business, 2023 seal coat bid.
So at our last meeting, I opened bids for, we had two bidders for our, seal coat. The first bidder, AMS, they had a second page, which I did not pick up on when I read the bid amounts for the meeting. So that was my error. After going through them again with Michelle, the final numbers are AMS base bid is $59,800.45. And Pocono spray patch is $51,402.99. I will say that Pocono spray patch doesn't do as good a job as AMS from what I've seen and experienced. But again, you know, you're talking about $8,400, so I will leave it to the board to make a motion how they see appropriate. Since it is $60,000, we're close to it. We won't proceed with fog seal, which I had hoped to do as well.
Well, normally you make the motion for,
I mean, based on my experience and what I've seen, I would make a motion to, Go ahead. Should I make a motion to review with the attorney?
you want to call it recess?
You want to recess?
Are you going with the?
No, I was not intending to go with a little bidder. All right, then you know what, this is not urgent, it's still
And you
June.
need the motion to table?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table it, but I just wanted to clarify the bids. And more to follow at our next meeting.
Okay, so motion to table, is there a second to table?
Second.
Comments or questions?
Don't you have to go with the whole bidder?
No,
You need, the language is lowest responsible, responsive bid. So if the bids are responsive, it's lowest, and I believe what, which is why I was referencing with responsive, okay? So that's something.
because I have to do the road over again in 2 years,
Oh, I get it.
you know, it's a waste of money.
We have to just look into it to see what the basis would be, if that's the direction.
So, motion to table, a second, any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the solar project, do we need to discuss it further?
Generator.
Oh, excuse me, you're right, I skipped over the generator, so the emergency generator bid. So pending, based on the advice that we received from our engineer, who recommends that we reject, the bid that we received for the emergency generator bid,
Rejecting it as not responsive.
as not responsive
My
yet.
understanding is that it did not have a number of documents, the bid bond, the bidder qualification statement, police affidavit, or agreement of the surety. So it was lacking and therefore not a responsive bid.
Yes, it's an incomplete bid. So is there a motion to reject this bid?
I'll make a motion.
A second, comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
A DC solar project. We discussed this a little bit at workshop session. I don't think there's any action to be taken on this evening. New business, Mark, I believe you have a motion up.
Motion to, adopt resolution 06/2023 Baratta and Joinder team. And that's for the, hold on, is that right?
Second.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Revitalize 209. So, we have a new committee, Revitalize 209 committee that, just met for the first time in person. They attended the Economic Development Committee meeting on Monday night. Normally, what happens for our committees is that, we receive letters of interest from people on the committees who are interested in becoming chairperson and running that committee. And then every January during the organization, the supervisors appoint the chair, and then at their reorganization, the committee reorganizes itself. The way we realized that the way this resolution is written for the Revitalize 209 committee, is that the committee will organize themselves, including the chairperson. So once they have picked a date for their first meeting, the recommendation would be to have the liaison, James Breckfield, run the meeting, or at least get the meeting started, and leave them a chance to organize themselves. So there's no action for the board to do on this item. So that being the case, I would recommend tabling it. I would make a motion to table it.
There's no action.
Yeah, but it's still written as if an action is required, so.
You don't have to table it. You could- you
Table
could-
it, table, hopefully.
I'm sorry?
No action required, so it comes
No.
off the agenda.
Yep.
Okay.
Public comment? Anyone? Yeah? All right, motion to adjourn.
Second. Anybody-
I don't think that needs a motion either. To adjourn.
everyone-
Sure, that's true. That's a good one.
Hmm?
I think, yeah.
Nobody's on?
Mm-mm.
All right.
No.
Yeah, we're-